follows. It says, to the Hopi, this is what he said, to the Hopi, the Great Spirit is all powerful. He taught us how to live, to worship, where to go, and what food to carry, gave us seeds to plant and harvest. He gave us a set of sacred stone tablets into which he breathed all teachings in order to safeguard his land and life. In these stone tablets were inscribed instructions, prophecies, and warnings. Alright? And then you got some tribes that believe in many spirits or many gods, and then, some tribes believe in one spirit, which is the creator. It says, it is reported that he was born a Huron, and by some accounts it was a virgin birth, which is going up. That's Esau, this information. Others say he was born in Onondaga and later adopted by the Mohawks. By all accounts, he was a prophet who counseled peace among the warring tribes. The Ganoida's message to the Iroquois was that all men are brothers, therefore they should cease their practice of killing, scalping, and cannibalism. His follower, Hiawatha, a Mohawk renowned for his oratory, helped him achieve his vision, similar to the relationship between Aaron and Moses. The Ganoida didn't stay in any place for long. He traveled from one village to the next, always moving eastwards, telling the people his message of hope. One day he reached the Mohawk tribe, whose chief was Hiawatha. Hiawatha was a fierce cannibal, renowned for being the best warrior in the land, but recently he had felt unable to fight and could not sleep at nights. It says, he was not surprised to see the Ganoida and quickly called together his people to hear him speak. He says, I come with good tidings from the chief of the sky spirits, the Ganoida said. Fighting must cease in the land. The good spirit never intended that blood should flow between human beings. It says, but if we do not fight, one man objected, we will be killed by the neighboring tribes. The neighboring tribes have already accepted my message of peace, said the Ganoida, and Hiawatha's tribe then accepted his message as well. It says, according to archaeologist Dean R. Snow, the great peacemaker converted Hiawatha in the territory of the Onondagas. Then he made a solo journey to visit the Mohawk tribe who lived near what is now Cohoes, New York. Initially, the Mohawks rejected the message of the great peacemaker, so he decided to perform a feat to demonstrate his purity and spiritual power. After climbing a tree high above the Gahahoos, the cataract now known as Cohoes Falls, the great peacemaker told the Mohawk braves to chop the tree down. Many onlookers watched as the great peacemaker disappeared into the swirling rapids of the Mohawk River. They believed he had perished until they saw him the next morning sitting near a campfire. It says, greatly impressed by the great peacemaker's miraculous survival, the Mohawks became the founding tribe in the Iroquois Confederacy. The oral laws and customs of the great law of peace, the gospel proclaimed by the Ganoida, would one day become the constitution of the Iroquois Confederacy. The Ganoida proposed that they would form one nation, and he told them the laws that they should abide by, which became their constitution. Alright? Last point here, it says, they returned down the mountain where all the tribes were gathered and began a great meeting. They would be the Haudenosaunee Nation, later known as the Iroquois Confederacy, and when the meeting was over, they buried all their weapons. The Ganoida planted a tree above, and the tree became known as the Tree of Peace. The Ganoida then left, leaving Hiawatha in his place. Of course, the Ganoida promised to return. And that was basically it. So if anyone has anything, bring it out. Anyone have any scriptures? Or a point?
Yeah.
Alright, because that was basically the Lord that came, and then he said he promised to return, and he's coming back to save his people. Alright?
Oh, I got one in here. This is Matthew 10:5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's right. And matter of fact, when the Lord died, he came back with the disciples, and he was with them for 40 days and 40 nights, and he ministered with them, and then the chariot came and beamed them up, and he went into the heavens, and then he came basically to the Americas to preach the same gospel he taught the apostles, right? Because they had to hear the word too. They had to hear that the Lord died for them. All right. Matter of fact, that's in John. He said, "Other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring." Right. That was it?
Yeah.
Let me bring this out. This is a term I found on a thing. Because a lot of you say, oh, you niggas are lazy, or you natives are lazy, and you're all bugged out. This is actually a term. It's called interpersonal disorder, or it's called complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It says complex post-traumatic stress disorder is a psychological injury that results from protracted exposure to prolonged social or interpersonal trauma in the context of either captivity or entrapment, which results in the lack or loss of control, helplessness, and deformations of identity and sense of self. So meaning you lost, right? That's why it calls you the valley of dry bones. Okay? A lot of our people are lost. They're helpless, man. A lot of people commit suicide. A lot of people are on alcohol, drugs, right? And that's all because of this devil, the so-called white man.
I got a script for that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
Yep.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will forget thy children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore I will change their glory into shame.
That's right. That's right, man. That's why people are bugged out, man. All right. That was it on that, I guess. If anyone even has the account of how the tribes came here, that'd be good.
Alright, when you get that, I'll just bring out this thing.
Go ahead.
This is 1 Esdras 8 and 21. Yeah. Let all things be performed after the law of God diligently unto the Most High God, that wrath come not upon the kingdom of the king of his sons.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
So you gotta follow the law, or else the wrath. That's why the tribes fell, man, because they didn't keep the law, and then the Spaniards came and messed them up. All right. And Quetzalcoatl, he prophesied that to them. He said, if you don't keep the laws, basically, you're gonna be destroyed. And I believe before the Spaniards came, there was a sign in the sky, or an event happened. All right, and they basically knew that their destruction was coming.
Well, remember too, there was the account of a woman screaming, which goes back into the scriptures about Rachel.
Yep.
Screaming for her children.
That's right. Yep.
This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Yep.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Yeah, and that's America. So basically, they were carried from their land, Samaria, which is northern Israel, into Assyria in captivity. But then they took counsel, and they went through the river Euphrates, all right, which is in Iraq today. And they went all around Africa, and they came into a land where never mankind dwelt, because you had people dwelling on the eastern hemisphere of the world. in Europe, in Africa, in Asia Minor, in Persia. So where weren't people dwelling? That was America. Go ahead.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Yep.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held stood the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth.
Yep, so it didn't take them a year and a half to go to Asia. Right? It didn't take them a year and a half to go to New Zealand. Right? If you look on the map, that's clearly talking about America. It takes a year and a half to get there on boat. Because then they gotta stop, they might get supplies, or a rebuild ship, or make another ship. Right? Food. Right? And then the word Arsareth is Hebrew Achar Arataza, which means another land. That's what that word means. Alright? That was it?
There's more. Then dwelt they there until the later time.
Yeah, this is the latter time. These are the last days we're in, man. Go ahead.
And now when they shall begin to come,
Yep.
the Hydas shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But,
That's right.
yeah. Can't even see now. Yeah. Yeah, but those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders. Now when he destroyeth the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain.
Yeah.
That's it.
That was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, because they stayed in the land of Judea, basically, or the territory of Judah, in the southern part of Israel. All right, and the Syrians tried to go there. They tried to conquer that land, but the angel of the Most High killed them. He killed, was it 720,000? All right.
First Ezra 8 and 83, that the land which ye enter into to possess as an heritage is a land polluted with the pollutions of strangers.
Yep.
Of the land, and they have filled it with their uncleanness. Therefore now shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons, neither shall ye take their daughters unto your sons. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them.
That's right. So all these heathens are polluted, man. They're all pollution, right? You got all kinds of people walking around with diseases. You know, all these nations they don't have the laws of the Most High, so they're like beasts, right? So it tells you shall never try and seek peace with them. But that's the problem with you tribes, man. You're just trying to seek peace with all these nations except your own nation, right? You try to kill your own people, but then you try to love the white man or the Arab or the East Indian or the Asian, and they hate you, right? That's why the Lord is looking for a very small number, man. All right, go ahead.
Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them, that ye may be strong